Welcome to the Vault Podcast and Reviews, where music still matters. You can check out all our shows at YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, and Podomatic. Please rate, review, and most importantly, subscribe. Also, make sure to check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And if you like what we're doing and you'd like to contribute to help us keep the show going, check out patreon.com/thevault. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to check out Sturm Und Drang from Lamb of God 2015 release. This album got a lot of hype across a lot of media. In fact, it hit Billboard 200s at number 3. That's
nice.
Saying something, yeah.
Especially for their fifth or sixth album.
Especially in 2016.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. It's just, so there's a lot of hype. And it's something I wanted to review, but before I even got a chance to put it down, we've just got so much stuff we like to listen to and like to review. We had a request come in once again from David Witt that came through on Robbie through Facebook, correct?
Yep, absolutely.
So
David Witt.
So if you guys have any requests, hit us up on Facebook. This is the third one I think we've done, and we've got a couple other requests that we're going to try to fit in here pretty quick. So, Robbie, were you a Lamb of God fan before hearing this album, just in general?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually I saw them live. They headlined, and I saw them with Guar and Job for a Cowboy.
Oh, interesting lineup, yeah.
Yeah, Guar was awesome. Lamb of God obviously was awesome. But yeah, I mean what was that album? Sacrament is right around the time I saw them. So I really haven't listened to the album they came out with in between. But I like that one. I like this one. So I should probably check out that other one. I'm sure it's just as good,
I would think. I mean, Lamb of God has been a band since the first time I heard them in the mid 2000s, probably early to mid 2000s, that I've always kind of kept up with. But something about them I've just not really gelled with. They've got, the musicianship is good, the recording's good, it's heavy, and the songs are usually pretty good. But for whatever reason, there's just something that doesn't get me with this. And I think this album might have changed a little bit for me on there. I mean, it's Lamb of God, but at the same time, they take so many different twists and turns that it's just such a fresh sound. So what's the first thing that grabbed you that you can think of?
It has such a great groove. Metal, people headbang, that kind of thing, throw fists. This just kind of makes me want to just kind of get down, You obviously can't see me right now, but
well, you're not dancing like you would dance to Rick James, are you?
No, that's a totally different dance.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's got a great groove. It's obviously it's hard, it's heavy, it's in your face, but at the same time, it's got a good melody. It's very melodic in a lot of their songs, and I dug that a lot. But I mean, I can go on forever. What'd you pick out of it? What'd you like right off the bat?
Just variety. I think Erase This. That's the first song. Still Echoes is the very first song, and I was like, oh, this is not too bad. It's kind of Lamb of God, kind of what I'm expecting. But then I heard Erase This, and there's just these cool, catchy riffs. And then towards the end of the song, what I like to call the Bon Jovi special with the top talk box.
Right.
That was just a cool little thing thrown in there. I mean, little touches like that get my attention and make my ears kind of perk up. Oh, that's a little bit different than.
Wasn't expecting that.
No. And there was an overall darker, edgier feel to this album. Yeah. However, there was also more melodic guitar parts, I thought. Yeah. So it's kind of a contrast to the two, which is nothing, that stuff's been done before, but it was just something interesting coming from these guys, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, and their guitar work's always been fairly melodic, especially on this album, though. I mean, they do a great mix of the two. But first off, I want to talk about Randy Blythe, the singer. I mean, he's an amazing frontman. He puts his body on the line. He is not scared to get hurt. He's super brutal. He screams. He's aggressive, but you can still make out what he's saying. You can still hear his lyrics. He's got a lot of meaning in his lyrics. I mean, he's got a very grab you by the throat and force you to listen kind of singing, kind of vocals going on. And I really dig that because it just, like I said, it makes you, it forces you to listen almost,
But once again, it changes again on this album. I'll just go ahead and tell you my favorite song is Overlord.
Really?
The vocals in that are so catchy. I mean, there's different vocal tones and styles he used throughout this whole album that maybe that he's done some of this stuff in the past on some of the other Lamb of God albums that I missed.
Yeah.
Because I'll be honest, like I really followed him for about the first 3 albums, and then after that, I would just kind of check in whenever something would come out. I'd listen to a few songs and then move on if I didn't really care for it. The vocals I thought were really interesting. You know, you can touch on the lyrics. I know, again, kind of everybody kind of knows what happened with him. I think a lot of that was reflected in the lyrics, possibly. I don't know. What did you think?
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. Because a lot of it talks about pain and stuff. He's got, I took some notes of some lyrics here. He's got one that's I'm collapsing beneath joy and pain, grotesquely clean, beautifully stained. Resentment keeps rebuilding me inside. Feels like I'm drinking poison, expecting to die. I mean, that's and he was an alcoholic too, so that specific lyric probably plays into that. But that's a really well written line right there. I mean, the way he puts his words together, and I mean, it's pretty deep too. I mean, it's just, he's really good. And like I said, I mean, he's still really brutal about it too, but you can still make those lyrics out, which is important as far as I'm concerned with him, especially. A
couple other things I want to touch on. Embers, which was an awesome song in general, but it had Chino from Deftones, and I'm like a huge Deftones mark. So the other, and then once again, Torches, toward the very last song, it had Greg, the singer from Dillinger Escape Plan, which I know this is kind of a side story, and I don't know that you'll remember this, but I remember we were at a Warehouse Music, and I had always heard of Dillinger Escape Plan, and I picked it up, and I said, hey, throw this in. You got to hear it. And you listen to about 30 seconds, and you shut it off. You're like, I can't do it anymore.
Oh, man. What were we
like? We're gonna have to go back and do an actual review on that one, because that'll be there's still a lot of people that just cannot handle Dillinger Escape Plan. So.
And it's funny you say that, too, because Torches was one of my favorite songs on the album.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So if that doesn't say anything, but we went to CD Warehouse so many times. I don't remember that specifically, but that sounds about right. Because about then I was like, if it's not ICP, I don't want to hear it. But
I also remember getting that album, and I'm like checking it out, because when we were in high school, like I don't know that and to this day even, there's not too many moments where I don't have headphones on, and I'm like checking out this, and somebody asked me like, "Hey, what are you listening to?" I'm like, Dillinger Escape Plan. They're like, oh, let me hear it. And I let him listen to it. And he's like, oh, it sounds like Offbeat Slipknot. And I'm like, oh, my gosh. I just turned around and walked off. I'm like, this doesn't even sound anything like that. But moving on back to this album, a couple of guest appearances there. But, man, I just keep going back to Overlord. Like, it's just a great, great song. By far my favorite song on the album. So
yeah, my favorite songs were, like I said, Torches, and Wine and Piss was a really good one as well.
That was a bonus track too.
Yeah, that was my second favorite one on there. And then, and lyrics are huge. I mean, to me especially. I mean, I say it all the time. If the lyrics are horrible, then it's hard for me to listen to it unless the music is extremely catchy. But I think a lot of people kind of put that to the side of like writing guitar riffs and stuff. But writing lyrics isn't easy, especially making them fit, with what music that's already been made for you to write to.
Yeah, I think that's a good point about the lyrics. I usually don't care, especially because a lot of the music I listen to, a lot of the lyrics are not something I agree with at all. So I mean, maybe it's best that I don't hear them. But I get what you're saying, and I totally agree. I think that's something that's overlooked. But, it's good that we've got people like you around, and Brent also likes lyrics, and there are people out there that like lyrics, and that's awesome, because it's just something else you can look into even deeper within the music. So.
Yeah, exactly. You can pick some more of it out. And there is, not always, of course, but sometimes there is a lot of depth in some people's lyrics. And this album really surprised me with those lyrics, because, I mean, what were the others? Like Walk With Me in Hell, and that redneck song. Omerta was, I guess, had some pretty good lyrics. But I want to mention the brothers in this band, Willie and Chris. I mean, one of them's the drummer and one of them's the rhythm guitar player, but they're both extremely talented. Chris Adler's been in drummer world multiple times. I mean, he is a brutal drummer. He's going on tour with Megadeth.
Yeah, he's in Megadeth. Yeah,
yeah, he played on their new album. What was that? You guys just reviewed it.
Dystopia.
Yeah. So look that one up on YouTube. They did do that one. You guys and Brent. So, but you got to think about this too. Like, I mean, their parents were like, we hope our kids grow up and make something of themselves. And then it's like, boom, they're like both extremely talented musicians that just rock people's faces for a living.
And pretty successful at it too. That's one thing I can give Lamb of God is they've been around for a while now, and they've waded through a lot of trends, and they're still sounding great. So, what negatives do you have about it?
The only negatives I had, and I had very few, were some of the lyrics were, a little bit dark and depressing, but at the same time, I can deal with that, not deal with it, but I can appreciate that because you can tell that's true emotion. He's writing from the heart, and maybe he was going through some dark times when he wrote these lyrics, and I mean that's not really a negative. That's like you kind of nitpicking and trying to find at least a little something.
Right.
But that's all I have, man. And I mean, I loved it. It's everything you'd want from a metal band and more. And I think technically, what would they be considered, like groove metal or?
I have no like. They're about the most. They're about the best definition of just straight up metal that I can think of.
Right.
Like, I mean, I don't try to pigeonhole them into anything else because they just like it's a prime example. Like Metallica. Like I just think metal.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
Some people want to put them in thrash. Some people want to put them in this or that. But it's just metal, and that's kind of what I put these guys into.
Well, that too, and especially with Metallica, since they've been around for so long. If you started playing music when it was just metal, you're always going to be metal. In my opinion, that's how it should work. Probably how they think about it.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, yeah, because so many people get butthurt over genres and, oh, this band isn't this, they're this. And I'm like, who cares? If it's good, it's good. I don't care what it is. So.
File it however you have to in your brain. But
Speaking of filing, I'm going to get into some negatives that I filed away on this one.
Right.
And it's really practically nothing. The only thing that I can nitpick on this one, because I'm like king of nitpick of music, is that a lot of these songs just don't grab me. We recently did the Robin Trower, and I could just feel that music. There's like probably about 4 songs on here that I can really do that with.
Right.
The rest of them are all super solid, but just,
It's a different kind of feeling, too.
Yeah.
That Robert Trower,
I think a lot of these other songs, they kind of came across to me more like the classic Lamb of God stuff that I was used to hearing, which was always like, hey, this, if this comes on my iPod or if I hear this online, I'm just going to, sit here and jam out to it. But I don't know that I'm going to go out and buy it.
Yeah,
I don't know that I'm going to go buy the T-shirt, stuff like that. Might as well jump into the ratings. 1 star being the worst, 5 stars being the best. What do you got?
4 1/4.
We're dead on. That's the exact same score I have.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
I feel like that means that we both heard the same thing. We both took
we heard different things and had the same thoughts overall. I think that's what it is. I mean, which kind of means this is an album that I think people should check out if we like totally different things and came to the same review. I mean,
yeah, because go back and listen to our No Effects review we did. So and then you'll see. That we didn't.
Yeah, there you go. This album though definitely an interesting turn, I would say, if you want to call it a turn, for Lamb of God. This is the best album I've ever heard from them. It's got the most variety. It's got some awesome guitar riffs. They're a lot catchier. The whole album has a darker feel to it. Good mix of vocal styles. The melodic riffs are awesome. Guest appearances, cool. Just really, really solid album.
I want to throw in one more lyric from him. He says, I came to make amends, to do the right thing. I came to corrupt your children and to kill the king. I mean, I don't know why that stuck out to me so much, but that's just like, I'm coming to basically take over. We're taking children, we're mutiny, we're ruling the land.
And you, the listeners, you need to do the right thing and head over to YouTube and subscribe. You can also check us out on iTunes, Podomatic, and Stitcher. And check us out on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Share everything we have on there. Sign up for notifications on Facebook. And if you like what we're doing and you want to continue to help support the show, please consider giving monetarily for awesome perks to give back to you at patreon.com/thevault. Until next time, see ya.